backstage here at the Dulles Expo Center for the Washington, D.C. Golf Show. I'm thrilled to be invited back. And my latest news this year is that I was just named the 2012 MAPGA.
May I have your attention, please? Now appearing on stage, please welcome Erika Larkin from Stonewall Golf Club. She'll be sharing with you how to take your skills to the golf course. Thank you.
Yes, that's right. So, my latest news, as I was saying, is I just was named, voted by my peers as the Middle Atlantic PGA Section Teacher of the Year for 2012. So, excited about that. Thank you. And I am at Stonewall Golf Club if you're looking for me after today. I have some brochures up here. I run a website, lots of information on there. And if you're interested for signing up for my newsletter, you can do so in person today. I got a sheet up front. You put your email address down, or you can go online and do it as well. Also, I have a handout that you can print from my homepage. So if you want to go onto my website, which is larkingolf.com, there's a little line on the homepage that says Washington Golf Show handout, and you can just click there and download it for free. So it's a little summary of what I'm going to be talking about today. So who's ready to get started? You want to learn how to transfer your skills to the golf course? All right, I mean, how many times have you been at the driving range and hit the ball beautifully and then gone on the golf course? It doesn't quite happen the same way. Raise your hand if that has happened to you. Everybody's hand better be up, because I know it has happened to me too, okay? So why does that happen? Any ideas? Anxiety, tension.
No target.
What's that?
No target.
No target? Okay, I like this. I think that the missing link for sure, okay, is that it counts. All right? The golf course, it counts. And so for all those reasons that you just mentioned, there's something that internally changes when we get on the golf course. So you could say, well, that's mental golf. You can call that a lot of different things. But I think a lot of what has to do with being ready to play on the course and to play to your potential has to do with your readiness, the internal feeling that you are ready, that you're confident to go out there. And what is readiness? Readiness is being prepared. So my topic today is prepare to play like a pro. So what do the pros do to prepare themselves to play golf well? So I've kind of broken this down into three main categories. The first one being what you do pre-shot. So I know you've all heard of a pre-shot routine, right? And so what about pre-game? What are you doing in practice? Okay? And last, what are you doing pre-round? Like, what's your warm-up routine before you hit the course? All those areas are areas where you can prepare and prepare better so that you feel ready, so that you bring your confidence to the golf course. So that's kind of my theme here for today. And so since I'm on a stage, I thought, well, maybe I've worked up enough guts since this is my 4th year doing this. I'm actually going to put on my acting hat for a minute. You guys want to see me do a little acting? All right, here we go. Here we go, everybody watching. Okay, so this is the first character I'm going to put on for you today. It's called Machine Gun Willie. And Machine Gun Willie is typical golfer, and again, gender neutral here, trying to be as much as possible. Willie could be a girl, right? So Machine Gun Willie gets to the driving range, and this is probably a typical practice session for this golfer. And I would say if I had a hidden camera, I would definitely see this 80% of the time if I peeked out at Stonewall Golf Club where I am at, and probably any driving range in the country. So this is how Machine Gun Willie sets up for his practice. He or she gets out, gets a golf club, probably a driver actually. Wedge is probably not the club that he starts with. Gets a driver out, gives it a good old stretching effort. Okay, maybe that's about it. Okay, and then all right, let's have at it. Let's go ahead and let's just go ahead and pull some balls out, and I'm gonna go ahead and just warm up, full swing, warm up. All right, next. Okay, I'm gonna work on my stance here. Go again. And okay, wait, yep, maybe I'll just hit a third one here. Okay. Woo! Okay, take a break. Where's my towel? I'm gonna towel off over here. All right, come on back. I'm gonna hit a couple more. Who's watching me? Okay, all right. Go again. All right. So that's Machine Gun Willie. So what did I just do there? Rapid fire machine gun style practice with not much thought other than just hitting balls, no warm-up routine at all, no thought to really maybe any kind of anything that simulates what might or should happen on the golf course. Okay, so that's my first character. Thank you very much for that review. All right, second character, and this is a little bit more for on course, what I would see from, probably I have two characters that I'm going to demonstrate that would be like an on course person. So first one I call Chatty Cathy, and it goes like kind of like this. All right, so Jenny, hey, did you see that show last night on TV? And oh, by the way, hey, what yardage do you have over there? Oh, is that one 100 yards? Okay, I guess it's my 7-iron. Hey, do you know it's supposed to be raining on Friday? Yeah, I think it's supposed to be cloudy and overcast. And okay, so that's my Chatty Cathy impersonation. And no offense, ladies, but guys do it too. Maybe it's talking about Super Bowl picks or whatever, but. Definitely something that, is distracted, all over the place, not really concentrating, very social. It's easy to get into that when you're playing with friends, and certainly I think that we are all guilty of doing that from time and again, hitting a ball mid-shot, mid-conversation. So third person, okay, kind of goes like this. I call him Bill Freeze. And this guy is overly intense, is trying his hardest to really focus on the golf course like he's been told. But he gets up there and it might be probably at least 1, 2, 3 practice swings, maybe more. He might try to line himself up and get up there and he's thinking, okay, what am I supposed to be working on again? All right, grip, stance, target. I was told about keep my left arm straight, freeze. Okay, so that's probably person number 3 there. And those are my acting impersonations today. So why did I do this to you? Did any of those 3 even come close to being similar to each other? No, I mean the driving range is typical, and then to be either overly distracted or overly intense, both are not going to simulate what you've been working on in the driving range, nor will be effective for you when you're playing in the golf course. So this basically brings me to my first point. I think the missing link is that you need to play like you practice and practice like you play. Practice like you play so that you can play like you practice. You guys say it with me? Play like you practice, so you practice like you play, or vice versa. Practice like you play, so you can play like you practice. It's so important for you to marry the 2 worlds together, and if you do, I think that, if nothing else, you'll be more consistent with the way you can transfer your skills to the golf course. There has to be a connect there and not a disconnect. So, the 3 areas that I told you I was going to talk about was pre-shot, okay, pre-game, and then pre-round. So first things first, time for a raffle drawing. Hubby, anybody else want to get in on the, actually we'll do a pick and then we'll give out some more tickets. We'll go around if anybody else needs a ticket. All right, you can come on up and pick anything over here that you want. I got ladies shirts, men's shirts, hats, visors, practice alignment rods. Ready? 320411. Who's the lucky person? Lisa. Good, awesome. All right, let's do one more. I got enough stuff up here. And 320413. Thank you. All right, come on up and pick something good. Okay, thank you guys. There you go. That's one of my students right there. Okay, so onward, forward. Oh yes, if you need tickets, you can come around to the front or raise your hand and he'll come around and get you. Okay, so I'm going to start with, I think, the first thing we need to talk about, which is pre-shot routine. And why I'm starting with that is because I want you all to evaluate what you're currently doing on the golf course. Okay, think about your routine as it stands right now. How many of you even have a routine? Whoa, okay. How many of you that have a routine do the same routine every single time? Even less hands, okay? So I mean right there. Have you ever seen a professional golfer on TV not have a routine? There's definitely some value there, okay? We're going to talk about what makes a good routine. But why is that important? Again, it relaxes you. It gives your mind a mental cue as to, okay, time to get ready to hit. It definitely is going to help remind you maybe of a swing key that you've been working on if you involve that as part of your routine. And, you know, for more reasons than not, I think that, again, it creates that connection between the world of practice and the world of play. But you have to create a good routine in order to practice something and ingrain something that is good. You don't want to be practicing bad habits, right? So that's why I want to go through a couple points about routine with you, because I want you to go home after this, and next time you go to the range or on the course, start to develop a routine for you that you can commit to this season and try it out. Really give it a good shot, okay? If you haven't done it before, make a new one, and if you have one, evaluate what you're doing and change it up a little bit. So this is what I recommend, okay? So let's talk for a minute about Annika. Everybody knows what I'm talking about, right? Okay. She was famous for her routine. She had really wonderful coaching, and she, if you clocked her on a stopwatch, her routine was 24 seconds every single time she did it. And if for any reason she felt like she was not confident about her shot, or she was second guessing what she would do, start the routine over again, go back to the bag, pull the club out again, and start over. And from that moment forward to when she, finished her shot, 24 seconds. So, I mean, to be that consistent at it, there was obviously a priority there for her to really ingrain a good routine and a consistent routine. So whatever you do, stick with it, okay? Make it consistent, do it the same every single time. How many of you have a routine for full swing but not short game? Okay, what about how many of you have a routine for short game but not full swing? You should have one for both. They don't necessarily have to be the same, okay? Because certainly you might do different things in putting than you would for full swing, etc. But I definitely think you want to establish a routine for the shot that you're going to hit and try to make it consistent, not only from a timing perspective, but what you're doing should be the same every single time. Does it mean that once you pick a routine, it has to be the same for life? No, because guess what? What happens if somebody like myself tells you, hey, I want you to be working on, a really smooth, straight backswing. I want you to take the club away nice and square and follow a nice straight path going back. What if I start telling you that in one of our lessons? And then you're on the golf course, so when you stand over the ball, is that what you should be thinking about? Okay? We don't want to think too much during our swing, which is another reason why I think routine is important, because then when you can get up over the ball, you can be a little bit freer to just swing at it if you've already done your thinking in your routine. So going back to Annika, her coaches, were Pia Nilsson and Lynn Marriott. They have a couple great books out. If you've never heard of them, please look them up. The most recent one that I have, I even brought a copy of it if anybody wants to peer through it, is called Game Before the Game, which is I'm going to touch on later about some practice ideas, but they have Every Shot Must Have a Purpose. They have a lot of good books out. But they have literally something they call the Think Box and Play Box. And they even sell on their website a line, but clearly you could just put down a golf club like that. Okay, there's my ball. I'm standing on this side of the line. Okay, target's that way, right? And the goal is to try to separate the thinking from the playing. So here I am staring down my target line, getting a visualization for what I'm going to do, what I'm going to hit, and I'm thinking. And I'm going to take my practice swing away from the ball, whether it be over there, over here, doesn't really matter, but in my mind I'm separating the thinking of maybe my swing thought, trying to get a feel for my ball position, my lie, all those things. It's okay to think, but you do it over here. Then you get up, you have that feeling of what you just did, one last look at the target, and go. And so you felt it, you thought about it, you get up and you do it. So you're separating thinking from playing. And it doesn't mean that you have to completely abandon your thought, but you want to sort of wrap it up in a feeling, get over the ball and do it so that you can swing freely and without tension. So, think box, play box, kind of a good idea for you maybe as you start to develop a better pre-shot routine. How many of you visualize your shots? Okay, how many of you visualize the entire ball flight? Good, good. If you don't, please try it the next time you go out to play. I promise it will help. Okay, how many times, all right, are you standing on a tee box and you visualize a bad shot? Visualize a good shot, number one, and visualize the entire ball flight from start to finish. If you just visualize the starting line, I guess that's not bad, but I like to actually, in your mind, once rehearse it. See the ball landing on the part of the green that you actually want to hit, or in the part of the fairway that you're actually aiming for, okay? It's really important. Do you visualize in putting? I think most people do, more so than even in full swing. So if you're doing putting, why wouldn't you do it in full swing? Hey, chipping, very, very important to visualize chipping because you have to see what trajectory you're going for. So if you don't kind of think about that in advance, you're skipping a step. So definitely, if the more you do it, it's instinctive. You won't even have to think about, oh yeah, I have to visualize this. I promise it will become like, when it's routine, guess what does that mean? You don't have to think about doing it, okay? That's the nice part about, again, establishing a really great routine. So I promise it will help you. How many of you are going to try to get a good routine this year? Come on, everybody, please promise me you're going to try. All right, raffle time. Dig deep. Oh, I get to dig? I'm digging deep. Bottom of the pile here. Let's see. 3, 2, 0, 4, 3, 1. Come on up and pick your prize. 3, 1, 3, 1. Okay, leave. How about 320427? All right, come on up, sir. Woohoo! 320442. All right, come on up. One more, why not? I've been talking too long. 320422. All right. All right, we'll stop there for now. These things are great. I come in 2 sizes. These tour sticks or these alignment rods, you probably see everybody using. So I have those too. Those are for the raffle in case you win. Those are ladies. These are men's. I got. Okay, sure. All right. Any questions so far on pre-shot routine or anything else I've talked about? Hey, we're getting into pre-game now. So assuming that you've established a really good routine, okay, now it's time to practice with it. And guess what? This is the missing link, right? You have to practice like you want to play. So let's think about how we can create practice habits that mimic play. Okay, got any ideas? That's my job, right? Are your wheels starting to turn a little bit more now though? Okay, listen, try this. Next time you go to the driving range, first of all, stretch, warm up a little bit, start taking some swings would be good. Actually, I'm going to save my little doodads here for the next segment, so stick around if you want to see a little bit more about them. But we're going to get back to warming up. But in terms of actual practice ideas, start off with a wedge maybe and get your rhythm and get your grip pressure down and just loosen up. Once you get past your initial warm-up, I want you to go and play a round of golf on the driving range. Okay, this is how you're going to transfer and start to be a little bit more realistic with your practice. You're going to start with driver. You're going to pick a target. You're going to lay out a golf ball. You're going to go through your routine. You're going to visualize it. Okay? You're going to take your practice swing and then you're going to get up and you're going to hit it. And you're going to have an emotional reaction to that, which is you either like the shot or maybe you didn't like it or you felt okay about it. So that's important. Give yourself some feedback and say, okay, well let's say the next shot I'm playing a par 4, maybe I got a 7-iron into a green. So play a hole, okay? Or even think about the golf course that you're going to play next week and actually go hole by hole and try to figure out what clubs you might be hitting and how far the next shot would be and pick the appropriate club. Play a 9-hole round of golf right on the driving range. Take your 7-iron out, you hit that shot. Same way, go through your routine, practice something, go through it, okay? Then hit a wedge in, or a little chip shot even. It's okay down the range, hit a little pitch shot, bump and run type thing, and just go through your round like that. Every couple of swings, okay, if you didn't like your shot, nothing to say you have to change clubs, hit it again. But I want you to keep changing clubs frequently, because what do we do on the golf course? We change clubs frequently, okay? What else do we do on the golf course? We take breaks frequently, so don't machine gun it, okay? Make it a little bit more of a realistic pace to what you are used to doing on the golf course. Doesn't mean you need to take 10 minutes in between a shot, but take a moment, reflect on it, because guess what? On the golf course, how much downtime is there? A lot, okay? A golf swing takes a second and a half. Okay, maybe with a pre-shot routine, you're talking 15 seconds, which means you actually have less than 10 minutes worth of action in a round of golf. Okay, so that's 4 hours of downtime that you have to manage your thoughts and your social interaction and getting in and out of the cart and all those distractions that come with playing golf. The better you can manage your downtime, I bet the better golfer you will be. But managing your downtime in practice, you have to kind of practice doing that. So, you know, take a little bit of a break in between. I love to give people drills as homework when I teach. So there's nothing wrong with taking 10 balls, okay? In the exercise room in the gym, do you do a set of exercises? You do a set of 10 reps, that's a set, and you maybe do like 3 sets. So do a set of 10 balls. And I'll give you permission to machine gun those 10 balls. But then you have to stop, and then you have to do your routine and go through, again, more realistic experience. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with what we call block practice, which is just getting a feel for something, maybe doing a drill over and over again without a whole lot of break in between. Who watched the Golf Channel with the Hank Haney Golf Project shows, with Raymond and those guys, right, and Charles Barkley? And what did they have them do? They lined up balls like this. Remember Charles Barkley? They lined up all those golf balls. They said, okay, I want you to go down the line, just keep hitting, right? So that was a drill. Again, there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but I wouldn't want to see your entire practice session like that. You have to have transfer practice. This is a really, really important term. If you remember, nothing else, remember routine and transfer practice. Because again, that I think is the missing link for most people. Okay, so where am I here? All right. So we talked about routine, we talked about a little bit about practice habits. As far as short game, that's what I was going to get. Short game practice habits, okay? So how many of you guys get up on the putting green and hit some balls around from different spots and get bored and then leave? Putting can be kind of boring, okay? So really what I'd like to see you do is if you have any opportunity to practice with a friend or with a child, make it fun, make a game of it. Because guess what? Anytime you can create realistic practice situations that feel like like you would on the golf course, it's gonna help. Whether you're doing it with full swing or you're doing it with putting or chipping, put some pressure on yourself. What did I say was the one thing that was different between the golf course and practice? It counts. So in practice, we play good, we hit the ball good at the range, right? Because it doesn't count. We're relaxed, we just get in our rhythm and we just go. Same thing in putting. You get on the putting green, you start draining putts, there's no pressure. So put pressure on yourself. Play a game where you keep track of how many points you're scoring. Play 9 holes on the putting green, play against somebody. Maybe stand and you can drop balls down maybe at 3 spots, 12 feet, 8 feet, and 5 feet. See how many times it takes you, how many tries it takes you to drain all 3 putts in a row. You might get to that 3rd putt and your knees are going to start to shake a little bit and you start to feel the pressure. You're trying to create ideas to simulate pressure. I got another book here I wanted to share with you. This is not one that you typically see in a bookstore. You might have to kind of order it, or if there's other ones out there might be. It's called Golf Scrimmages. It's by a guy named Trent Warner, who's a PGA professional, teacher like myself, and he came up with a book full of games that you can play. Chipping, full swing, all sorts of stuff. Putting, it's really great if you're looking for practice ideas. And there's certainly more ideas here too, game before the game. This is really great for other ideas on how to work on drills that involve tempo, grip pressure. So if you're struggling with certain things, it gives you specific ideas on how to practice those. And then also simulate more emotions during practice that you might feel on the golf course. All right, I think we're ready for raffle number 3. Here we go. Anybody else need a ticket after this? Let's see, I'm probably gonna do one more round. 320400. 400, woo! All right. Yeah, 320437. Thank you, sir. Come on up. Thank you. Anything you like up there? 320421. 421. One more. 320454. All right, thank you, sir. Come on up. Okay, any questions about ideas on how to practice? I have a few more things listed on that handout too that I'm probably forgetting at the moment. So again, go online and download that off my webpage, larkingolf.com. All right, so moving on to the last segment here is what do you do before a round of golf? Okay, I'm gonna break out a couple little toys that I've got here. Actually, I'll start with this one since the guy that invented this is here today. It's called the Speed Flex Pro. Wherever Jerry is, Jerry, I'm giving you a shout out here. I think he's at booth 100. He might be up at the front. He invented this about a year or so ago, and it's a weighted stick. Okay, it's not something that if you're going to carry your golf bag around the course, I would recommend putting it there. But certainly for pre-game, okay, or pre-round warm-up, it's really great. Also a good winter training aid. So they have different weights. This is the ladies' purple version. There's, I think, two other weights varieties here. So what I would just tell you to do is start slow, get it moving back and forth, okay? Get your body warmed up here first before you start a full swing, and get it all the way back and all the way through. As you start to make it through to a full swing, you're gonna feel a couple things. You're gonna feel your weight transfer a little bit more. Maybe that's something that you need to work on. You should start to feel the weight of the club help you develop a nice wrist hinge, because as the weight goes up, your wrists, if they're relaxed, should bend. It's gonna help you use your body to turn more too, because the weight is gonna be pulling you around. So all good things when we try to develop rhythm and warming up before a round of golf. You could also take this and put it over your shoulders and just do some torso turns. Whether you do them in your posture, you just do them standing tall. This is really good, just to warm up the torso. And you could use it as a stretching pole. You can go down and do a hamstring stretch. You can go up and stretch above your head. You might be able to even get some side stretches around the side of you. So lots of good ways you can use this as a stretching pole. One of my favorites is to get it out in front of you, get back here like this, and just kind of bend down. You get a really great stretch through the upper back, shoulders, arms, neck, okay? So that's one really great warm-up tool. The other, which I like very much, they have this in 3 sizes, called the Orange Whip. You can actually get $10 off a purchase if you type in Larkin Golf, if you go to their website. It's a bendy club. You're not supposed to hit balls with this either, but just to get it in motion, same way. Gives you really good feel for rhythm. Kind of helps you engage your core. Okay, you can see the club flexing. And if I swing it from here, it's really great for timing and tempo, more so than the weighted club. It has some weight to it, so you get the benefits of that feel. But I really like what this does for people from a learning perspective, but great for warm-up. Really, really great for warm-up. That's called the Orange Whip. There are other varieties of it, but I know the guy that invented that too, and it's a great product, so go to his website if you're interested. All right, so what else can you do to warm up to get yourself ready to feel prepared to play golf? What do the pros do? They stretch out, they warm up. What else do they do? Go to the range, hit balls, right? What is your goal? What are you trying to accomplish at the range before your round? What are you trying to accomplish? This was your warm-up, so what are you trying to accomplish? Huh?
Score.
Score? Okay, but like if you're at the driving range before you play golf, like what's your goal on the range when you're warming up? What's to loosen up? Okay, but we already did that. We already did that. We already loosened up. Rhythm and tempo, okay, we kind of already did that, but yes. Okay, finding your rhythm tempo. Connection, kind of feeling some good contact, building your confidence. Consistency. Okay, sometimes we don't have a great warm-up session on the range, right? What happens? You get out there and just don't hit it right that day. You don't want to break all your confidence, okay? So I have a couple things I want you to think about next time, like right before you go out to play, warm up, stretch out, rhythm, okay? When you go to actually hit balls, let's get target focused, okay? Think about the first tee shot. Think about the second or third shot you're gonna have to play. Get those clubs out. Start doing your routine. Start getting some feelings of what it's gonna be like to be on the course that day. Check your alignment. Are you lining upright or not? Lay a golf club down a couple times when you stand there to hit your first shots if you're not on the mat. You might be a little off that day, so calibrate yourself. Okay, calibrate yourself so that you are ready to play. It's not the time to cram before you go out to play. How many of you crammed for tests when you were in school? We all did. Come on. Did you feel good walking into that test? No, okay? Did you perform okay sometimes? Yes, you know. We got absolutely, you know, I'm sure I sneaked out a couple of A's even when I crammed for tests. And even now, if I go to play and I don't warm up properly, I might sneak out a couple of good scores. But typically, don't cram. Give yourself enough time to warm up and do the things you need to do to feel ready. 2, okay? Don't try to work on stuff before you go out to play. Give yourself a gentle reminder in your routine about what it is that you're trying to accomplish or things that might help you, but keep it simple. Okay, again, focus on calibrating yourself in terms of rhythm, being target focused, alignment. All those good things are important as a goal for getting yourself ready to hit the course. And start to visualize your shots before you get out there. Also, on the way to the golf course, all right? When you're in the car, you might be trying to get phone calls done and stuff before you hit the links, but take a couple moments, or maybe even it's at your lunch break before you get out to the car to even get to the golf course, and play a little bit in it's the night before. Maybe you can have a moment to play the golf course in your head. How many have you ever been like basketball coaches or soccer coaches for your kids' teams or anything like that? You have a strategy before you go play a game, right? You know what you're gonna do and you kind of have plays worked out, football, right, that kind of thing. So in golf, a lot of people go out blind. They either don't even warm up at all, because they're racing to the first tee, they got there late or something, and they definitely haven't thought about what they're really trying to do out there. So if you know the course in advance, if you've played there before, you already kind of know the layout, take 10 minutes, because it won't take you 4 hours to play around golf in your head, I promise you that. Take 10 minutes and meditate a little bit about like playing around in your head. You know, what's it going to look like? What are the holes? Remind yourself on what the holes look like. If it's been a while since you played there, and play around in your head. What's the strategy you're going to use? Or maybe you say, oh yeah, I remember on that hole, I need to hit it over that bunker and not over that bunker, or whatever. Remind yourself of those things so that you go out there and you're prepared. And then equipment. Clean your clubs. How many times I've been out with people, again, I'm guilty of this too, but they go out, the clubs are completely dirty, wedges completely dirty, right? How are you going to play well if your clubs and equipment are not in shape? So give yourself a quick check, clean off your spikes, you know, get yourself ready to play. It doesn't sound too anal to do that. It really will help you, I promise. If nothing else, when you get over a shot that you might not feel 100% about, and then you're staring at dirt all over your club face, that's not going to make you feel any better. So why don't you take a minute, clean your clubs before you get started, and you start nice and fresh, and I promise you you'll feel better. Do you have everything in your bag you need? You know, so you get out there and it's not another point of stress. All the equipment, tees, balls, you know, umbrella, rain jacket in case it rains or you get cold. Did you think ahead? You know, there's so many people that get to the course and, you know, they're last minute buying stuff, which is fine. Absolutely, I encourage all pro shop sales, but you know, obviously make sure you're thinking ahead and getting what you need before you get out on the course and you get stuck. Because the one thing I hope that you can have from this conversation today is some ideas on how, when you go on the course, you can just feel ready. You feel prepared, you've done your homework, you practiced efficiently and effectively with the right ideas in mind. You are feeling good over the golf ball because you've done a great routine, you've prioritized your swing thoughts, you visualized the shot, you've made your decisions correctly, and you feel good over the golf ball. You know you've done your homework in practice, you feel ready because you warmed up properly, you feel good over the golf ball. All those things lead to success and confidence, and I promise, even if your skills are not the best, you'll play better doing what I talked about today, even if you don't make significant changes in your swing. So just think, if you did get better in your swing and felt really prepared, how much even more confident you would be and how much more successful you would score. So hopefully I've motivated you a little bit today to think about your routine, change your practice habits, improve your practice habits and your pre-game, pre-round, pre-shot routines. And I really wish you guys well this season. I'm going to do another raffle drawing and then take some questions, and then I'm just about out of time. So last raffle call for you guys today is 320432. And I'm calling till all this stuff is gone here, so keep coming up. 320397. 320395. Come on up. 320435. Shake it up. Thank you. 320440. There's still more stuff. 320458. Say we'll let that go down there for a minute. You might be close. All right. Any questions?
How do you simulate trees on a practice tee?
Great, on a practice tee. How do you simulate trees? Give yourself a fairway on the driving range, okay? There's flags all over the place or bunkers. Tell yourself that you have to land this tee shot between those two flags or between those two bunkers. See if you can do it. Give yourself a goal. Give give yourself 10 tries. Can you land the ball in the fairway away from the trees? All right, 5 out of 10 times.
I've already hit the trees.
Huh?
Already hit it.
You've already hit into the trees, then what do? You practice punch shots. Get up on that range mat and practice some punch shots. And you can practice how you're going to get out of the trees if you get in them. Questions? Anybody else? Yes? You have trouble taking sand? Not taking sand. So how do you take sand? The question is about a bunker shot. How do you take sand in the bunker? Really the key component to being able to take sand is to be able to get your club and your hands in a position to hit down. So there's a couple areas that I would look at. One is your stance. You can certainly get a little wider. That might help lower you. But one thing that helps us hit down is to have a steep angle of attack. And the only way you're going to create a steep angle of attack is to bend the wrist. So I would take a look at your wrist ends. You have to bend up in order to hit down. If you're swinging in the bunker like this, it's going to be really hard to take the right amount of sand. You might take sand, you might take too much at a shallow level. So we want to hit steeply and we want to hit just the right amount. So the shape of a sand shot, because of that, ends up being very much up, down, and then up. So that you kind of get in there, take your sand divot, and get out cleanly. Once you develop your feel for how much sand you want to take and hitting down and through the sand, you want to develop your skill at hitting the same entry point all the time. So, get a golf ball and try to see where exactly you think you're actually hitting behind it. You can draw a line in the sand and then hit your shot and see where did your club actually enter the sand. Because if you're taking enough sand but you're hitting way behind the ball, it's still not going to help you. So you have to hit about 2 inches behind the ball would be like a perfect entry point in most cases, and then same through. Other questions? Shifting? Sure. Okay, question was, can I demonstrate the proper procedure for chipping? So, basic chip shot, I would like to see for the most part a narrow stance and the weight, your weight on your leg steady on your front leg, because really the swing is so short, you don't have time to make a weight transfer, nor do you need to. So you want to kind of steady yourself just on the front leg. That puts your weight a little bit ahead of the ball. You would never want to hang back on a chip shot because then you're going to hit up on it. We actually want to hit crisply. So weight a little bit to the front leg, which is going to end up tilting everything a little left. Hands are going to fall left, the shaft is going to fall left. And from there, a basic chip shot is a low trajectory shot. It's not something that goes up high. That's a different kind of shot. So for chipping, once you get in your setup, really we just want to see a pendulum-like stroke where your hand stays steady and there's not a lot of wrist. That's going to cause a lot of problems. So it's going to look something like this. Set up, steady, and then just a little arm swing. There's no weight transfer. There might be a little bit of rotation of the body and the chest on the way through, but really it's important to be as quiet as possible and just let the contact happen cleanly.
What is your pre-shot routine for putting?
Oh, sorry. Jim?
What is your pre-shot routine for putting?
Pre-shot routine for putting? That's a good question. Since we talked a lot about routine today, and I had mentioned how it may be different, like from full swing to putting. In putting, there's a lot more to be done in terms of trying to find what your read is. So your pre-shot routine may be different for one person to the next because they read greens differently. I actually teach aim point, that was a great segue, which is a green reading system, and I'll be giving clinics actually for the first time all this year. Gave some in the fall, but if you're interested, it's on my website too, aim point. Great, first ever really system for reading greens that's ever been developed. It's awesome. So my routine would be that I'll walk about halfway up my putt line, more or less, try to get a feel for where the slope direction is. Once I know my position of my read, then I will take a look from behind the ball, figure out what my starting line is going to look like on the putt, then I'll take some practice swings. Speaking of practice swings, especially in putting, I think most people they take their practice swing for granted. Have your practice swing mean something. You have to internalize your practice swing. Don't just stand there and just do this for the sake of doing it. Feel it and think about it and try to get a feel for how hard you want to hit the putt. Because once you've gotten your alignment down and you've already read the putt, then all that's left to do is to hit it the right speed. So that's your job at that point, is to feel how hard you want to hit it, get over the ball, double check the alignment, and try to put that same stroke right on the ball. So I probably have 3 or 4 steps, but I do that pretty consistently for every putt, no matter how long or how short. Yes, sir?
The tendency to hit behind the ball when I'm using fairway wood.
You have a tendency to hit behind the ball when you're in the fairway, so what do I recommend? There are a couple main things that come to mind when people hit behind it. One would be a late weight shift. So if your weight is on your back foot, the moment of impact, you have a really good chance of hitting behind the golf ball because that's where your center of gravity is. If your weight's back here, you're going to probably hit the ground here. So try to shift your weight through the ball a little earlier. Even from the top of the backswing, try to work on getting to your front leg and then hit the shot. That might help move it up. Another thing that's pretty common, and I'm speculating because I haven't seen the swing, but is hands. If your hands are really firing very aggressively at the ball, there's a good chance that we call casting. You're going to cast early, and not only are you going to lose a lot of your power by doing that, but you stand a good chance of hitting behind the ball for that reason as well. So really, hands are important because we want to load our power and then deliver it at the ball, but if you deliver it too soon, you're going to hit behind it. So one thing that we talked about today was feeling the pressure of being on the golf course. So let's say you hit good on the range and then you do that on the course. My thought is, well, if it's not mechanics, you might just be a little tense over the shot, and then you kind of have this early firing tendency to like just grab it a little bit or help it and hit at it when really you just need to swing through and delay the release of the golf club in your hand. So a little bit will come with confidence and maybe a little bit with mechanics. So a little bit less control and let it go. Last question.
Okay, John, can you talk about when to release? You say that you're releasing too early. Talk a little bit about that or demonstrate that.
He's saying he thinks he has a little bit of an early release or late release? Early release. Yeah, I think for the same reason, similar. Yeah, if you have an early release, you're handsy, okay? You're just doing too much with your arms and hands. The golf swing, and you could talk to a different teacher, they might tell you something a little different, but I believe that you have to be a little bit more in sync with the body. If you get this club and try it, you're gonna feel it. Why? Because this helps you feel that you can generate your speed and your swing with your body. If you get handsy, it's gonna feel like that. Then the golf club is swinging me and I'm not swinging the golf club. So that's like an early release would look like this. Can you see how my body is after my hands? Now this would be better. My hands are following my body. And then therefore, as you get down to where the golf ball is, the shaft is still loaded as opposed to being like this. It's coming in and then it's releasing a little later. But that has to do with the sequence of your swing, timing of your hands, and again, kind of letting your body generate power and not your hands doing all the work. So, all right, well, thank you for your great questions. Oh, 5 more coupons. All right, here we go. 5 more prizes. 320-449, 320-425, 320-403, 320-452, and 320-441. Come on up and grab your raffle prizes. Thank you for your attention. Appreciate it.